Hello guys, welcome to Book Ideas where we tell you interesting ideas from interesting books. For today, the book that we are picking is called The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. So if you want to get this book, you can click the link in the description. It's a very good book on psychology behind money. Have you thought about luck and risk? What role do these two things play in your life? What role do these two things play in how you make decisions? Now, I'm going to be starting off this part of the video, the idea from today's book, with a very interesting quote. So, NYU University professor Scott Galloway said an interesting quote: "Nothing is as good or as bad as it seems." Now, if you're thinking this doesn't make sense, how will this help me when it comes to money? This is one of the most important psychology when it comes to money that we can learn. You'll know why. Keep watching and you'll understand why this makes sense, why this will actually help you to make better money decisions. So one example that he gives is about Bill Gates. So about 18 million people in about 1968, where there was Bill Gates, when Bill Gates was in high school, 303 million high school aged people were there around the world, according to UN, and about 18 million of them lived in United States. Out of them, 270,000 or 270,000 people lived in Washington State, and out of them 1 lakh people lived in Seattle area, where Bill Gates was born. And only 300 of them attended Lakeside School. 300 of them. We started with 303 million and we came to 300 people, which means 1 in a million. In that age group, those students had that opportunity to go to that high school where there was computer, and it's one of the only schools which had a very good computer at that time. Most schools did not invest in that, and Bill Gates was lucky enough to land up there. And Bill Gates and his co-founder Paul Allen, they founded Microsoft, and they grew it into a massive company. And that was luck, right? You don't choose where you're born. When you're born, the opportunities that you have, and those opportunities helped him do well. If he would have been born in some different age, he might have not started Microsoft. He might not have had the legacy of Microsoft that he has now. Now, talking about luck not working out for you, he had a friend called Kent, right? If you look at his documentary on Netflix, he even says that he remembers Kent's number to this day. And he said that, you know what, Kent was a very smart guy, and he and Kent were very good friends from the time they were in 8th grade. And he said that Kent was a very smart guy, and they both would have actually gone to college together, and they both Kent could have also been a co-founder of Microsoft. And he keeps thinking about it, but something tragic happened in high school. Kent, when he died from a rock climbing accident. And all of a sudden, that opportunity of being part of Microsoft was gone. And that was bad side of luck. Now, this is one story he gives. He talks about an instance that he had with one of the economists called Robert Shiller, who had won the Nobel Prize in economics at the time. So he goes and he asks Robert Shiller, "What do you want to know about investing that we can't know?" He said the exact role of luck in successful outcomes. He gives other examples in this, stating how people who made a lot of money, right, a lot of big wealth, hit it big, we hear about them. And then there are people who made similar decisions, but it did not work out in their favor, and we don't really hear about them. We try to only look at the successful people, and we try to emulate what they did right. And the problem with it is we don't really factor in luck. And why don't we factor in luck? Why does this happen? So one main reason is that luck is something that's not very quantifiable. you can't really quantify it. You can't say, you know what, he had this much luck and then that's why he succeeded. She had this much luck, that's why she did not succeed that well, but she kind of succeeded. You can't really say that. And it's not a very concrete concept. We don't understand luck exactly. We don't understand why it works, how it works, and because of which we tend to ignore it. We try to look at things that are more solidified, that are more concrete, like this strategy, this plan, that plan. But if you really look at it, luck is very important. Alright, luck can really help you do well. And for this, he gives an instance where one of the businessmen, he had a big railway empire, and one of the people who was working with him asked him that the decision you're making is actually breaking the law. And he said, to hell with the law. But it worked out for him. Now, the other side of the coin is this. If we would have taken this risk, if it would not have worked out, we would have read about this businessman as this young businessman whose new business got closed down because of his reckless decisions. So it could have gone either way. So he says, the fine line, there is a very fine line between luck and risk. But that fine line is too thin. It's very hard to determine which side are you on. The only way you can determine it is after you make the decisions and then you look back. So why does this matter to you? How can this help you? He says this. Look, if you're doing very well, if your decisions paid off, then remember this. Don't feel like nothing will happen to you. Don't feel all powerful, all invincible. Know that it can all come crashing down very quickly. You just got lucky to an extent. That's one side of it. The other side is, if your decisions don't pay off, if it doesn't work out well in your favor, but if you made good decisions, that's not really in your control, right? You just got the other side of the coin, which is risk. You messed up. So those times, pick yourself up and keep moving ahead. With that said, guys, this is something he says to look for when you're investing in something, when you're doing something, and most importantly, if you're trying to learn from people, if you're trying to learn strategies and techniques, look at broad range of people. Don't cherry pick only the best of the best people, because wherever there are extremities, the further away you are from the truth. So look at broad range of people, pick out patterns, pick out strategies from that, and then try to apply it. With that said, thank you so much for watching. If you felt like you learned something new, then leave a like, hit that subscribe button, because we will be coming up with more ideas from this book. Amazing book, by the way. With that said, this is Abhishek signing off. Goodbye.